The invisible currency that builds greatness, time. It's invisible, untouchable, unstoppable. It's the one thing every single human being gets in equal measure, every day. You don't need to be rich to have time. You don't need to be famous, educated, or lucky. You wake up with it 24 hours, 1,440 minutes, 86,400 seconds. And what you do with it determines your life. That's not just philosophy, that's the blueprint of every success story you've ever heard. Because time, unlike money, can't be earned, it can't be stored, it can't be borrowed. You only get what you get, and when it's gone, forever. So how do the world's most successful people use their time? What do they do differently? They value it. They treat time as their most precious asset. They don't waste it. They don't gamble with it. They protect it like it's gold, because to them, it is. Most people drift through their days. They wake up late, rush through the morning, react to problems, get distracted, and collapse at the end of the day wondering, where did the time go? Successful people, they own their time, they design their days. And that's where everything begins. Let's dive deeper into how successful people use their time, not just in theory, but in practice. These are the habits, mindsets, and strategies that set them apart. 1. They begin with the end in mind. Success doesn't start with a calendar, it starts with a vision. The most successful people on the planet are driven by clarity. They know exactly what they want their life to look like, 5, 10, even 20 years from now. They imagine the legacy they want to leave, the lives they want to impact, the work they want to create, the person they want to become. That clarity becomes their compass. It guides how they spend their days, their weeks, and their hours. They don't just work to stay busy. They work to build something. Every task, every project, every conversation gets filtered through one question. Does this get me closer to the vision? Because, without a vision, time gets filled with other people's priorities, with distractions, with emergencies, with noise. Successful people don't live by accident. They live by design. 2. They win the morning before the world wakes up. If you study the daily routines of high achievers, CEOs, athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, you'll notice something almost universal. They wake up early, not just for bragging rights, not because they love mornings, but because they understand something most people ignore. The morning is when you're in control. Before the emails start pouring in. Before the texts. Before the meetings and demands and noise of the world. In that quiet space, they invest in themselves. They read. They journal. They work out. They reflect. They visualize. They build their mindset. Because mindset is what shapes performance. They know if you spend the first hour of your day building clarity, strength, and focus, you carry that energy into everything else. The world doesn't control their day, they do. 3. They schedule their priorities, not just their tasks. Average people make to-do lists. Successful people schedule priorities. They don't rely on memory or mood. They use systems. Calendars, blocks, timers, routines. They create a plan for their time, and then they follow it. Because they know. What gets scheduled gets done. They don't wait for the right time to start. They make the time. They don't leave their most important tasks to chance. They protect those hours like they're on a mission, because they are. Want to know what someone truly values? Look at their calendar. Successful people don't find time to build, grow, or lead. They make time every single day. 4. They focus like a laser. Motor. Here's a secret successful people know. Distraction is the enemy of greatness. You can't build anything meaningful when your attention is scattered across 1,000 tiny interruptions. That's why the best don't just manage time. They manage focus. They turn off notifications. They silence their phones. They close unnecessary tabs. They block out time for deep work, and nothing gets in. Because they understand. 1 hour of focused effort is worth more than 5 hours of multitasking. They train their mind to stay locked in. Because in a distracted world, focus is a superpower. 5. They eliminate the non-essential. Time is not just about doing more, it's about doing less better. Successful people are ruthless about cutting what doesn't serve their purpose. They don't say yes to everything. They don't attend every meeting. They don't chase every trend. They don't try to please everyone. They focus on what matters most. Everything else? Deleted, delegated, or delayed. Because they know. You can do anything but not everything. Success comes from subtraction, not addition. It's not just about what you're doing. It's about what you've stopped doing. 6. They work with urgency, but without panic. There's a difference between being rushed and being driven. Successful people don't run through life in chaos. They move with calm urgency. They respect time. They understand that procrastination is a thief, that waiting for the perfect time is just another form of fear. So they act, they move, they execute, not recklessly, but with purpose. They make decisions. They ship their work. They take the next step, even when it's uncomfortable. They know that speed matters not in rushing, but in momentum. Because time won't wait. And neither do they. 7. They recover intentionally. It's not all hustle. It's not all grind. Truly successful people understand that rest is not a reward, it's a responsibility. They don't glorify burnout. They don't wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. They build in time to recover, to reset, to recharge. They sleep well. They walk. They meditate. They laugh. They spend time with people who energize them. Because they know a burned-out mind can't create. An exhausted body can't perform. A restless soul can't lead. They don't just manage time, they manage energy. Because time alone isn't enough. You need the energy to use it well. 8. They reflect and improve. At the end of the day, successful people don't just move on. They look back. They ask, what did I do well today? Where did I waste time? What did I learn? How can I improve tomorrow? They reflect, not to judge themselves, but to grow. Because they know time not evaluated is time wasted. Every day is a classroom. Every hour is feedback. They learn. They adjust. They evolve. And over time, those small improvements become unstoppable momentum. 9. They see time as legacy. Finally, the most successful people understand something deeper. Time isn't just for productivity. It's for legacy. It's how you show up for your family. It's how you love, lead, serve, and create. It's the memories you build, the moments you share, the impact you leave behind. They know the clock is ticking, not in fear, but in focus. Because every second you waste is a second of life. They don't want to just make a living. They want to make a difference. And that begins with how they use their time. Part 2. Turning minutes into masterpieces. Most people think success is about massive action. Giant leaps, big wins, overnight breakthroughs. But the truth is far less glamorous and far more empowering. Success is about how you use your minutes. It's built in the quiet, ordinary, easily ignored choices you make every day. What time you wake up. What you do first thing in the morning. What you say yes to. What you say no to. How you spend that 15-minute break. What you choose to watch, listen to, think about. It all adds up. Every successful person knows this. Minutes become habits. Habits become routines. Routines become your life. And that's what makes time so powerful. It's not just something to manage, it's something to build with. Let's continue exploring exactly how successful people turn time into greatness and how you can too. Top 10. They think in terms of years but act in terms of days. One of the biggest time traps is short-term thinking. We chase dopamine. We want instant results, fast wins, immediate feedback. But successful people have a different view. They zoom out. They think in terms of years. They understand that true mastery, true wealth, true fulfillment, they take time. They play the long game. But that doesn't mean they wait around. They don't dream endlessly or wait for the perfect moment. They act today. They take the step that's in front of them. They do the small thing. They lay the next brick. Because they know. What you do daily creates what you have eventually. They respect the law of compounding. And they trust that daily effort, stacked over time, leads to exponential growth. 11. They study their time like a scientist. Most people don't even know where their time goes. They look up at the end of the day and think, why didn't I get more done? Successful people don't guess. They measure. They use journals, trackers, calendars. They analyze their days like an athlete watches game film. Where was I distracted? Where was I at my best? What tasks drained me? What activities energized me? They track and tweak, not obsessively, but strategically. Because self-awareness is the foundation of transformation. If you don't know how you're spending your time now, how can you spend it better? They treat time like a scientist treats data, always asking, what can I learn from this? 12. They align their calendar with their values. This is a game changer. Most people's calendars are filled with things they don't even care about. Meetings they didn't choose. Tasks that drain them. Social events they resent. Habits that don't serve them. But successful people align their time with their values. They ask, what's most important to me? Who matters most? What work gives me energy? What legacy do I want to leave? Then they build their calendar around those answers. They make space for family, for creative work, for health, for learning, for rest, for love. They don't hope they'll find time for these things. They plan for them. They protect them. Because if your calendar doesn't reflect your values, your life won't either. 13. They master transitions. Here's a subtle but powerful secret. Success isn't just about how you work. It's about how you move between your work. Most people waste hours in sloppy transitions. Finishing one task, then mindlessly scrolling. Come home, but still mentally at the office. Ending the day, but still thinking about emails. Successful people master transitions. They pause. They breathe. They close one chapter before starting the next. They use short routines to shift energy. A 5-minute walk after a meeting. A cold splash of water before a workout. A journal entry before bed. a family dinner, with phones away. They move with intention. Because every transition is a chance to reset your mind, realign your energy, and protect your time. 14. They automate, delegate, and delete. You can't grow if you're drowning in the small stuff. Successful people don't do everything themselves. They free up time by using 3 powerful tools, not 1. Automate. Use systems and technology to handle repeatable tasks. Bills, emails, scheduling. 2. Delegate. Let others handle what they're better at or where your time is better spent elsewhere. 3. Delete. Ruthlessly cut what doesn't matter. Unnecessary calls, useless meetings, pointless reports. Ceased. Because their time isn't just valuable, it's expensive. Every hour they waste doing low-value tasks is an hour they're not building, creating, or leading. They treat time like an investor treats capital. They put it where the highest return lives. 15. They protect time for creation over consumption. Most people consume all day long. Social media, news, TV, podcasts, emails, more content, more noise. But successful people flip the equation. They create more than they consume. They write, they speak, they invent, they design, they build, they launch. Because they know. It's not what you absorb that changes the world, it's what you produce. They schedule time every day to create. Not when they feel like it, not when it's convenient, but as a discipline. They treat creation as sacred. And even if they consume, it's intentional, focused, for growth, not escape. 16. They design their environment for flow. Wacko, time doesn't live in isolation. It lives inside of environment. And your environment either pulls you forward or pulls you down. Successful people don't just work hard. They work smart. They design their space, routines, and tools for flow. They keep their workspaces clean. They remove friction. They organize for clarity. They keep their goals visible. They reduce clutter mentally and physically. Because they know clutter steals focus. Disorganization kills momentum. Chaos wastes time. They make it easy to do the right thing and hard to get distracted. They don't rely on willpower alone. They engineer their space to support their success. 17. They practice time. Gratitude. This one is rare and powerful. Most people see time as a burden, something they don't have enough of, something they're always fighting. But successful people are grateful for time. They respect it. They see each day as a gift, each hour as sacred, each morning as another chance to lead, love, serve, and grow. They start their days not with dread, but with gratitude. I woke up today. I have breath in my lungs. I have work that matters. I have people I care about. I have time, and I'm going to use it well. That mindset? That changes everything. Because when you're grateful for time, you stop wasting it. You stop waiting. You stop complaining. You start living. Part 3. The legacy in every hour. Let's pause. Look at the clock. Right now, this very second, is a piece of your life you'll never get back. It's not just a number. It's not just a blip. It's a moment, a choice, a door. And the most successful people in the world are aware of that every single day. They don't just know time is precious. They feel it. Every hour is an opportunity. Every minute is a seed. Every second is a chance to get better, grow stronger, and go deeper into the life they're building. So how do they stay consistent? How do they wake up day after day and keep choosing the path of purpose? It's not because they're robots. It's not because they have superpowers. It's because they've decided with intention to live fully present in time. They use time with awareness, with reverence, with urgency, with love. Here's how they keep going. 18. They don't wait for motivation. They build momentum. Motivation is a spark. But spark doesn't last. It fades. It disappears. Successful people don't rely on it. They act even when they don't feel ready. They show up when it's hard, when it's boring, when no one's watching. Because they know. Action leads to clarity. Action leads to energy. Action leads to momentum. Even 5 focused minutes is better than 0. They don't say, "I'll work when I feel inspired." They say, "I'll work and inspiration will meet me there." Because movement creates motivation. And momentum builds greatness one small step at a time. 19. They use dead time as growth time. Here's a trick the successful know. Life gives you pockets of time, what most people call dead time. The commute, the walk to the store, the 15 minutes in line, the time waiting between appointments. Most people waste those moments, scroll, zone out, complain. But successful people, they use them. They listen to audiobooks. They practice gratitude. They reflect. They breathe. They plan. They rehearse. They sharpen their minds. They turn every wasted minute into a moment of growth. Because they know. You don't need perfect conditions to make progress. You need intention. 20. They are present with people who matter. Success is not just about productivity. It's not just about the work, or the hustle, or the climb. It's about presence. It's about showing up where it counts. You can be efficient all day long, but if you're not present with the people who matter, you're losing time you can never get back. Successful people protect that time. When they're with their children, they're not half listening. When they're with their spouse, they're not scrolling through notifications. When they're with their team, they're not thinking about their next email. They bring their full attention because they know presence is the highest form of respect. And the most powerful gift you can give another human being is your time. 21. They let go of the past and don't fear the future. Most time is lost not in the calendar but in the mind. Regret eats time. Worry steals time. Overthinking paralyzes time. Successful people aren't immune to these traps, but they fight them. They learn from the past, but they don't live there. They prepare for the future, but they don't fear it. They bring their mind back again and again to now. Because now is the only place action lives. Now is where power exists. Now is where the future begins. They free themselves from time's illusions. And they focus on what they can control this moment. 22. They know the difference between busy and effective. In today's world, being busy has become a badge of honor. But successful people, they see through the lie. They know. Busy is reactive. Effective is intentional. Busy is full. Effective is focused. Busy impresses. Effective creates results. They don't fill their days for the sake of being productive. They ask, what's the one thing that moves the needle? Then they do that and protect that space with everything they've got. They don't confuse motion with progress. They don't mistake exhaustion for accomplishment. They pursue impact over activity every single day. 23. They say no without guilt. Saying yes to everything is the fastest way to waste your life. That's why the most successful people have mastered a powerful word: no. Not because they're selfish, but because they're focused. They say no to distractions, no to drama, no to obligations that don't serve their purpose, no to projects that dilute their mission. Because every yes is a trade. Every time you say yes to something small, you may be saying no to something great. So they choose wisely. And they've learned, when you say no to what doesn't matter, you say yes to what does. 24. They plan their legacy, not just their schedule. The highest form of time mastery is this: they don't just plan for today. They plan for what they'll leave behind. They ask, how will I be remembered? Who am I helping? What values am I teaching through how I live? What am I building that will last beyond me? And then they use their time accordingly. They build businesses not just for profit, but for people. They create art not just for fame, but for healing. They raise families not just with discipline, but with love. They think about legacy because they know the way you use your time is the story you're writing with your life. And that story will echo long after the clock runs out. 25. They wake up grateful, and they go to bed proud. When the day ends, successful people don't always finish everything. They're not perfect. They miss things, make mistakes, fall short. But they go to bed proud because they showed up. They didn't hide. They didn't drift. They didn't waste the day. They gave their time to things that mattered. They took one more step. They honored the gift. And they end the day with a powerful truth: I used this day well. This is your time. Now it's your turn. Look at your life. Look at the time you've been given, not as a burden, but as a gift. Ask yourself, what am I building with my days? What story am I writing with my hours? What will this week add to my legacy? You don't need more hours. You need more intention. You don't need to wait until January. You don't need to wait until Monday. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. Your time is now. Use it like it matters. Because it does. Here's what I want you to do. 1. Audit your time, track how you spend the next 24 hours. No excuses, write it down. 2. Eliminate the noise. Remove one thing from your calendar that doesn't serve your growth. 3. Protect 1 hour a day. Just 1 hour for your goal, for your health, for your vision, every day. 4. Be present with your work, with your loved ones, with your moments. 5. Repeat daily. Don't do it once, do it daily. Build the life you know you're capable of. Because you're not here to survive the day. You're here to own it. This is your life. This is your story. And time is the pen in your hand. Use it well.